Hi everyone, thanks for stopping in today. Today we are going to be sorting our socks into categories, and then I am going to be measuring these socks because I have come up with an idea to use all of the socks. I can either darn or mend them, which right now I'm too lazy to do, but I thought of making blankets out of the different themes. I have holiday socks, I have crazy socks, so I right now am just going to measure. First we'll sort, then we'll measure, and then we'll figure out where we're going from there. I am going to put on some gloves, only because my hands from work are just a little beat up. I do apologize for being so far in between videos. We had someone quit at work, and you know how that goes. Somebody quits, and you've got to make up the slack. You've got to work more. Alrighty, let's just dump a bunch of socks and start sorting. I know I have 2 more bags of socks somewhere. Just need to find them. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. And as you can see, I know I could darn these, but I just don't have it in me. So we are going to sort these socks by style, season, holiday, etc. And I just got my Halloween socks out of the seasonal drawer for work. Let's just start sorting here. Let's see what we've got. Fun socks, cute and adorables, and I will kind of go through and see how bad the darning is and whether or not I can feel like doing it or not. Okay. And not sure if this is, I'm going to call this St. Patty's Day. Let's see, do we have a match in here somewhere? Seriously, how can I not have a match? Alright, we'll just set the singles aside by themselves. We have St. Valentine's Day. Okay. Or Valentine's Day. Tell me that's not adorable. Pretty springtime butterflies. And I'm playing with a new camera, so if it's too close, too loud, I do apologize. More Valentine's Day. The little pom-poms. More fun. Come on, I know there has to be, like I said, I have 2 other bags of mismatched or darn socks that need darning, so we'll put our singles in another pile. These were the most adorable socks that I found for work, so we'll have critter socks pile. More Christmas. Well, I truly do have 2 more bags somewhere with all of these mismatched, but we'll just put that aside. Fun exotics, yay. Christmas sheep. Oh, another pair of my favorite socks. That's why I said I should probably darn some of these and just make them workable. But we'll just see how much energy I have. More Christmas socks. All right, match nowhere to be found. Oh wait, there we go. Happy little butterflies. Springtime butterfly. My sweetie got me these are Dialect socks from Doctor Who. Booties, I should say, Dialect booties from Doctor Who. There we go. Yay, now we're getting somewhere. This one could even be Halloween with colors. Felix the cat, isn't that what these are? Beautiful colors, another critter socks. There we go. These were also my favorites. A little Santa outfit booties. More Halloween. Another Christmas. Here we go. Perfect. Santa Claus. Ha ha ha. Play on words, play on words. Santa Claus. Another Christmas one with no match. Santa Paws to go with the Santa Claus. Yes, I do have the match. Awesome. I have so many critter themed socks because of my job. And what do we got here? Zebra. These were the most comfy socks ever. I have a lot of these too. That's why I know I've got more bags somewhere, because there are so many more socks. These were fun as well. Happy socks, I call them. These are so adorable. Let's see what we got here. This was my Bizarre Lady Face lipstick, if you will. Those wore out so fast. These, another pair of my favorite Halloween socks, were the witch's shoes. These I really should darn because I really like these. Where'd I put my Halloween ones? I don't even know. Mismatched colors. Again, my little critter socks. Wild cherry socks. Okay, yeah, I am missing so many socks. Okay. Raccoon with a spray can. Tagger, if you will. Feliz Navidad. Okay, he's missing his companion. He's missing his. They're missing theirs. Alrighty, well, a whole lot of socks without friends. Okay, so I'm going to have to try and find those other bags which I will do. Just throw those over there for right now. Alrighty. And what I thought I would do was just measure the tops here so that I can see how many inches each pair is, so that I can see how big of a blanket I could possibly make with these. Okay, we'll start out with our first pair here. And you can see Miss Kitty decided that bag was for her to lay upon. You'll find her hair everywhere. So we are looking, and I think I will keep the fringes upon there and just take it down to the heel. So we're looking at about 5.5 inches. There, our circumference, because we will be uncutting these and folding them in half. So this one will be a total of 6 inches. I have width and length. Okay, 5.5 inches and 6 inches wide. 5.5 inches. Double that up about maybe 3.5 inches. These, I believe I might be able to use most of. Maybe take it down to the seam. About 6.5 inches in length. These, because we have our heel on the other side, we'll only be able to use the front portion of these. So we are 3 inches exact in width. And that will be the same on both. 6 inches to the seam. 3 inches with the front. I think I'm just going to measure them all now, because I think we're going to be pretty close on all of them. And then later, and possibly in another video, I will separate them by seasons and start cutting. These we should be able to use all the way down to the heel. That is where the color stops. So we're looking at 5 inches in length. Again, 3 inches in width. These guys, because we have the cute little ears, I definitely would want to keep those. I would make these probably edge pieces so that we could use the ears. But we're still going to measure from the middle. And again, these we can use all the way down to the seam. And in this case, we are looking at 7 3/4 inches in length. And again, we'll only be able to use partial of the back, but mainly just the fronts. And we are looking at about 3 1/4 inches in width. 7 3/4. 3 1/4. I apologize for the alarms. And again, I think these will keep this edge on here because that can be used as a seam to sew the two pieces together. So we will measure this one. We're going to go all the way down because the color goes all the way down. So top to bottom to the toe is about 10 inches in length. These again we can use all the way around. I may just clip out the heel and bring it together. Excuse me. And 3 inches, 3 inches. Again, with another little doggy one, and I know I have at least 10 other pairs of these somewhere, so these will make a good edge on the critter blanket. And again, we'll take it from the middle of his forehead down to the seam, 7 inches. And we might be able to use both sides of this. Take him out and make a spread. 3 inches exact. Seven inches. And there's a little variance, of course, in socks. This is a 3 1/4 inch wide on this particular sock. These guys, the color does go all the way around, but I don't really want to use the logo there, so this one would be one where we would probably just use a portion and maybe trim it off right before we get to the wording, if you will. This one will be about 5 inches long. And we'll probably be able to take him into most of the turquoise. So we're at 5 1/2, and we would cut it off right there. So 5 1/2 inches wide can be used for this one. And that would be part of the critter blanket. And we've got our butterflies. And again, leaving the edge because we can use it for a seam or edge of the blanket, whichever we decide once we start putting things together. And because the butterflies go all the way down and all the way around, we'll take it down to the toe, which is 7 1/2 inches long. And because they do go all the way around, we can use all of that. And again, with the heel, I can cut it out and make a seam. So we are looking at 3 inches, and 3 inches. And 3 and 3. Let's see. Perfect. Perfect. Alrighty. Next. These guys are adorable. And again, I have to decide whether I am snipping these or, you know what, they've served their purpose. And again, may save the edges just because that would be a good edge. We'll take it all the way down to the seam in the toe, 7.5 inches. Three inches, and I would probably only use the front, so maybe 3 inches and then 1.5 inch. All right, these little puppies here. Let's see. Our design is mainly on the sides, okay, so that'll just double it up. And these we may chop off right here, right above the dialect. This dry, sorry, nerd in me. These are 4 3/4 inches. And the fact that we can possibly just split these right down the middle, and with your 3 inches. Okay, and I do believe all 3 will. All right, back to functioning again. I have been working on my space. Not very well, as you can see. Let's see here, what else did we have? We've got our little zebras. And again, we'll keep the edge because that can either be a seam or a finish. And we're going to take it down to the seam here. About 6.5 inches. And again, we just have the front on this one that we can use. 3 inches. And I know I have more Santa socks around somewhere, so once I find the other bags. Okay, we can take this one all the way down to the seam because you have your little paws running the one. Let's see here. And 11 inches on this one that we can use. It's going to be a hodgepodge of a blankie, but I like odd, so you know. And again, we can use all of this because I can just have the seam. Three inches. 3.5 inches. 3 inches, 3 1/4 actually. Same thing with the Santa Claus. We can definitely open it up because it's the same on both sides. From the top to the seam. This one is 11 inches. Three. My little booties, even though the most of the design is at the top, of course, you're going to utilize the whole sock. And again, keeping the same, either as an edge or a seam, one of the two. 9 inches. And this is the same on both sides, so we can most certainly take it around. Do you find a theme here? 3 inches seems to be the thing. All right, and our little Christmas sheep. Again, we can use the whole thing. I can hide the heel. That is 11.5 inches. And what is it? That's right, 3 inches. These are just my favorites. I love the glitter. I love the stripes. I love the Christmas scene. Yeah. Again, we can use this all the way down. Straighten her out here. Whoop, 12 inches. Let's see. Oh, 3.5 inches. Well, 3 1/4. I apologize. These are my favorite. These are my favorites by far. Actually, I think I've said that about quite a few of them, haven't I? Yes. Alrighty, and again, maybe I should just see what needs to be darned on these. I think it's just a little peek in the toe. Yep. So if I really felt like it, I could possibly darn a few of these, and I still may. Now these guys with the pom-poms, not sure. These I may just darn up. Oh no, that's got the big hole. Yeah, let's see what can we use off of this. Probably the whole top. Let's flip you over there. 5.5 inches. Yeah, we might be able to use all of it except for the heel. So these we may cut up separately. That is 3 1/4. And the top portion, 3 1/4. And do we keep the pom-poms or do we take the pom-poms off? Pom-poms could possibly go on something else. Okay, and then I can have I know I have 1,000 pairs of Valentine socks. So like I said, I may be splitting these up into seasonal blankets or maybe even just seasonal pillows. Pillows might be an easier bet. We'll see. But once I start, I'll take you along. You can come with me and I'll show you what we're doing once we determine what we're doing. This one here, because the design is mainly at the top and we've got all the nappy thingies at the bottom, we may just take this one from there to right below the last stripe. So these would be 3 1/2 inches. And it's only on one side, so we could literally split this open in the back and lay it out. Now that I've mentioned it, pillows is sounding more and more like a good idea. 3 inches there. This one here, we can most definitely use all of the sock, even probably including the heel. So that would be all the way down to the seam, 7 inches. And we could open these up all the way, 3 1/4. So adorable, so adorable. Alrighty, well, I think we've got our measurements here. I will just start adding and determining how much I have to work with. And now that I've said it out loud, I think pillows may be a better way to go. We'll see. We'll see. I'll take you along with me. Thank you for stopping in today. Thank you for hanging around while I measured my, separated and measured my holy socks, my socks that have been well worn. And then I will search for the other 2 bags because I know they're here somewhere because I had them at the ready. But my sweetie has a tendency to move things about, so I just gotta find them. When I do, if you're interested, leave a comment below. If you are interested, I'll go ahead and separate those and possibly measure those for you too if you like this video. All right, everyone, thank you for stopping in. Have a great day. I hope this helped you relax a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the sounds, and we will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.